MOBAs, multiplayer online battle arena games. 3 lanes, 10 players, one big game of Capture the Castle. From the genre's humble beginnings back in 1998 as a mod for StarCraft, it has exploded in the past 6 years, spawning a billion-dollar business and an avid esports following where millions of dollars are given away in cash and prizes every year. And of these games, 2 reign supreme: League of Legends and DOTA. Each one has its own rabid fan base eager to prove that their game is the superior one, but today we're putting the definitive answer on the books. 3 lanes, 2 games, 1 winner. Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, welcome to DeadLock.
Prepare to get wrecked! It's about to get Darude in here. Sandstorm.
Come, mortal, witness your demise.
Dota is and more specifically Dota All-Stars, is the game that launched the genre. It started everything. To begin with, Dota is a more balanced, fairer game. League has things like runes and masteries and summoner spells that give you stat increases that you may buy and equip outside of the individual matches. So those buffs are attached to your player profile, meaning that any match that you play, any character you choose, may have an advantage even before a match begins. Dota always starts on an equal playing field. Once you actually start playing, Dota is such a dynamic experience. There may only ever be 3 lanes, but the paths through them are endless.
That may be very poetic, but now
there are more items in Dota, and more of them interact in interesting ways. A large number of items in LoL offer you stat upgrades. That's lame! Dota items are much more active and can do anything from turning you invisible to shooting at a giant nova of ice.
Sure, but there's...
Sure, some of these things are accounted for in the runes and masteries of League, but having to farm the gold to get the item offers another layer of nuance to the Dota experience. And speaking of nuance, let me tell you about denying. As soon as your ally creeps, or minions I suppose if you're an LOLer, fall below 50% health, you can attack them. If you manage to last hit your own creep, you will deny your opponent the gold and a large portion of the experience that opponent would have received. Same thing with towers and even allied heroes in some specific cases. And the jungle in between lanes. League's jungle is used for buffs and ganks. In Dota, the jungle can be manipulated in a variety of ways to accelerate experience and gold farming, building your hero's level early on, or even just hide around the detailed individual jungle elements. Detailed design elements open the door to such a great level of strategy, something that LoL just doesn't have. Seriously, dude, this is a debate. There's 2 sides. Like Dota, you know, or League.
Oh, double rainbow, what does it mean? Oh, sorry, is it my turn now? Finally. You say that Dota is the granddaddy of the genre? Well, when was the last time your granddaddy was up on the latest and greatest that technology has to offer? You talk a lot, and I mean a lot, about the depth of strategy in Dota, and that's great. It's important to have a deep, rich game when, let's face it, at the end of the day, it's the same 3 lanes. Same jungle, same 5-on-5 action every single time. It needs to be complicated to keep it interesting. LoL, on the other hand, has choice, variety. Before you even get to playing, you have the option of trying any of 4 major maps. While in Dota, you're stuck with 5v5, in LoL, you actually have the option of 3v3, as well as an open round arena and a single lane free-for-all. Choice means that players can start out in whatever environment they feel most comfortable in and move to others over time. And different scenarios hone different skills, so you have the potential to become a much more well-rounded player. Supporting hero in single lane combat, tank in 3v3, and a damage heavy or DPS hero in 5v5. Whatever combination of those you choose, it's not just about teaching yourself the strength of each hero, it's also about continually being aware of context to become the strongest all-around player.
Sure, so there are a couple extra maps to choose from, but it's not all about choice, it's also about quality. Are those other maps better than the original 5v5 Dota Classic, or are they just add-ons that create more stuff to do since your main game isn't as good? Also, Dota has the ability to create custom match lobbies where game parameters are adjustable. There might only be one map, It doesn't mean you can't customize it.
Have I mentioned that LoL also trumps Dota when it comes to champions to choose from?
Heroes.
Champions?
Heroes?
Champions?
Gods?
Shut up, Smite! Look at the Dota heroes. They're so unmemorable. You got guys with names like Lion, Lich, and Warlock. The creative department really stretched themselves there, didn't they? And what about the designs themselves? You've got, Spider, Nature Girl with magic, Nature Girl with bow, Cold Girl monsters. Honestly, none of these designs stand out. They're just kinda bland. But just scroll through the LoL roster, and without knowing anything about the champions, you got Mummy Kid, Lilo and Stitch, Sam Fisher, Evil Scarecrow, Ent, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Girl with a Flaming Teddy Bear. These guys are guys with personality. And because the game is a little more tongue-in-cheek, you can have more flexibility with pop culture references and goofy skins like Gentleman Cho'Gath or Broloff.
But Dota has serious characters for a serious game, and it respects its lore and its fans enough to take itself seriously and not dumb its characters down. Dota also leaves the door open for community members to model and create their own items, which means that players have a level of control that LOL can't match.
Yeah, but why does that even matter? Great. Your characters are super rich, detailed, realistic, but at the end of the day, you're zoomed out on the battlefield and your epic character looks like a cartoony G.I. Joe swinging his sword every 1.2 seconds. It's goofy! I'm sorry! If Dota had a low-angled camera in the third person like Smite does...
Yay!
Shut up, Smite!
All that rich detail would be awesome to have. But as it stands, the seriousness of the characters and the design just don't match the aesthetics of the game. LoL strikes a better balance of matching the tone to the visual and gameplay style. It realizes that the graphics aren't the greatest, that the perspective is zoomed out, and that the battles aren't all that realistic. So a more cartoonish sensibility just makes sense.
That is where you're wrong, though. The detail is noticed and appreciated. Dota's business model is based on them. Not to mention the absolutely gorgeous particle effects on the characters' abilities. It's like watching a Hollywood production versus a Saturday morning cartoon. Fine, let's say that you prefer LOL's aesthetic, and I kind of feel like I need a shower just saying that. That doesn't make them good. A pretty game still has to be playable, and League's heroes, sorry, champions, just aren't as well balanced for use as part of a competitive lineup. This year, during the International Dota 2 Championships, out of 104 or 105 heroes, only 5 of them were not picked or banned. In other games, there are a much smaller pool of viable characters.
Sure, but not everyone is there to play competitively. I don't hate people for using Meta Knight and Brawl because rarely am I playing with people who are so good that they know how to break the game.
Fair enough, but even as a casual player, you would hate it if your favorite character wasn't available, right? Like if you prefer Zero Suit Samus and she's not able to be selected.
Absolutely.
That's League of Legends.
No, it's not. You can play as anyone.
Yeah, on the random week the champion rotation decides to promote that character in between yet another round of Garen, Ashe, and Annie, you only get 10 free champions every week. Sorry, but that just sucks. In Dota, all the heroes are free all the time.
You say sucks. I say encourages you to break out of your comfort zone and try new characters. There are over 100 after all, and humans have a psychological tendency to stick with what they know. In a lecture hall filled with hundreds of seats, you sit in the same one every day despite being able to choose anyone you want. It's because people are afraid of change. LoL forces you to try the whole roster.
Don't try to use your science on me, MatPat. If I'm training to get good with a specific character, I need to be able to play with that character, not hope that the wheel of free champions over at Riot lands on my Urgot that week.
Well, if you like the character so much, why don't you...
Marry it? Is that what you're gonna say?
No, that's not what I was gonna say at all. I was gonna say, why don't you buy it?
I shouldn't have to buy it.
And, in the interest of experimenting, LoL has a practice mode where I can suck at Nunu all day long without feeling the guilt of my team calling me a feeder. Plus, League of Legends games have a lower death penalty, so if I'm still rocky with a character or I'm just having a tough game, I'm not setting my team back quite as much. But if I was playing Dota, my ineptitude would just hurt my team all the more.
To your first point, Dota has a practice mode in which a player can not only play against bots, but can control the difficulty of all the bots. Finally, Dota allows you to queue with a coach who can see what you're saying, draw things on the map, ping different areas of your HUD, and point out areas you're missing. Dota may have a harsher, more rage-inducing learning curve, but it also offers more tools to help the newbie learn the ropes.
What if I just want to play the game? You're saying that I need to hire a coach to even learn the basics? No way. LoL is way more friendly to casual players. That's probably why it has so many more active monthly users. What's that number again? Oh wait, I remember now. It's 32 million to your 5. But if you're hardcore, there is room for that too in League of Legends. League of Legends and Dota, they're both team esports.
And while LoL may have more players, competitive Dota is way more popular in the esports scene.
I disagree. LoL tournaments in 2013 were hosted at international venues that hold just as many, if not more, in-person viewers, and garnered a massive online following.
I'm not talking about just viewership or international participation, MatPat. I'm talking about the universal language.
Love.
Cash, Prizola, the quiche. I grant you, the LOL tournament prizes have been climbing in recent years, but the 2014 prize pool for Dota's World Championships climbed to almost $11 million.
You forget, though, that Dota is basically kickstarting that entire prize pool by offering players in-game incentives like skin and sound effects for donating to the prize. It's no wonder the pot is so massive. And besides, the size of the prize pool says nothing about which game is best. Being the best has to do with what the game has to offer, the mechanics, and the player experience.
Okay, then let's finish this up with the player experience. If you're a serious fighting game fan, you play Street Fighter. If you like MOBAs, you play Dota. Dota knows what it is, the original, and its programmers have dedicated themselves to providing the pinnacle of the MOBA experience. The characters are balanced and everyone is accessible right from the beginning. The gameplay is nuanced and deep, the map is dynamic, and team cooperation is essential. LoL may be more mainstream now, but there's a reason Dota has been going strong for so many years. To sum it up, at their core, MOBAs are team-based strategy games, and by that definition, Dota offers the richest, most complex, most rewarding, once you've conquered the learning curve, MOBA experience.
That may be true, but where does that leave the average player? Complexity doesn't make a good game, it just makes it harder to play. Not everyone has the hundreds of hours it takes to really master the platform, so yes, if you're competitive, maybe Dota is the better choice. But if you're not looking to compete for the multi-million-dollar prizes, LoL is clearly the better option. It gets you up to speed quickly and encourages you to experiment with new maps, new champions, new items, new gameplay modes. It finds the right balance between deep strategy and forgiving gameplay, and wraps it all in a bright, fun, visual style that doesn't take itself too seriously. You say that Dota offers the richest MOBA experience, but MOBA is short for Multiplayer Online Battle Arena. That doesn't just mean 3 lanes and 5v5 matches. Dota may offer the best of those, but when it comes to which is the better game, I prefer the one that will keep me occupied when I get bored with laning. To me, the best game is the one where the greatest number of players can have the best experience, and that, clearly, is LoL.
Smite is good too!
Shut up, Smite! Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, we have reached DeadLock. Now the decision is in your hands. Who had a GG and who got ganked? Click on the person you think argued it best, or click the links in the description to cast your vote to settle this debate once and for all.